Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today checking out some more beer from Joe. We're still going with crazy beers that Joe sent. We still have a couple left. I think we have 4 maybe, something like that. But man, it's awesome. He sent so many great beers. All IPAs. No, we have more than 4. He sent 12. I've been lagging behind with reviewing because we've just had so much stuff going on at work. But that being said, we're drinking some now, and this is some more Fidens. This is, I think it's like 6 or 7 weeks by now. There's no canned on date, but I looked up online. So it's not like it's TMOH IPA, as Joe always says. But, you know, it's not old. It's still going to be fine. It smells very good just sitting here. So this is their IPA called Oak. So they have a series where all the beers are named after trees. And it's just a different IPA. This is 7.5%. And they call it an IPA, but, you know, it's right there on the edge to also be called a double IPA. It's hopped with Citra and Bru-1. I've had Bru-1 in a few beers. It's not a hop that I'm super familiar with, but I know it can be dank and bright, but it can also be a bit earthy and kind of, you know, spicy. But we'll see how it is in here. It's that turkey gravy looking haze. This is pretty much the color I want in my New England IPAs. It really looks like, you know, the same kind of color as something like Monkish. Like, it's all about hops. It's that light golden yellow color. I mean, just a touch of orange. Looks beautiful and a very nice fluffy head. Let's check out the aroma on Oak. Oh, that smells really nice. It smells like a Fidens beer. There's so much juice. Like juice with a bit of a dank edge. It's, again, as I've said so many times, it's kind of like old school treehouse crossed with Monkish. But more towards the treehouse side. But yeah, huge. I'm getting huge overripe candied stone fruit kind of vibes and like overripe, like, or candied melon even. Like you can get cantaloupe melon, like candy, kind of sugar coated candy bites. I'm almost getting something like that. And then huge Citra profile, but not just Citra, classic Citra. Like Jasper was amazing, but my thing with that was like it could be more than just Citra, because Citra is a nice hop, but I feel like Citra is just like it's the baseline hop that's always amazing to have with other hops. Like almost like if you mix and match any hop with Citra, you're almost always going to end up with something nice because Citra can just work. It's so versatile with other hops. And this has that, it has a slight dank, almost like grilled pineapple edge to me. Like almost something like that, like a sweeter pineapple. But that's also probably due to like overripe esters. Yeah, totally crushing, kind of dripping stone fruit. The more I'm smelling, the more I'm getting like brightness and pineapple. Not crazy dankness, but a hint of it. It smells really good, but all the Fidens beers have been really good. I think there's only one where I was a bit like, yeah, it's nice, but I'm not like crazy stoked about it. It was necessary means, something like that. Because it was really, really overripe. A bit too much, I think. This smells more up my alley, so let's give it a taste, guys. Cheers. Thanks, Joe. Wow, that is a juice bomb and a crusher. So often, you know, this up front tastes quite sweet. Often, it doesn't feel sweet in the mouth, like crazy sweet. But often esters that these produce are really sweet flavors. And when you get these really sweet flavors, you know, you need like a drier beer as well so it can handle that sweet flavor, because otherwise it gets too sweet. And that's often the problem a lot of people I know, me included, have with triple IPAs, because there's so many esters often. And even though it finishes low, like even if it doesn't finish, you know, very low, it doesn't dry out enough. But this is, you know, it is a juice bomb first and foremost, like gushing juice. Really like how I remember old school treehouse beers. It has an interesting woody vibe. I don't know if it's because the beer is called Oak. I'm thinking of that, but hops often give off like woodsy flavors and woody flavors depending on what hops you used, and spicy notes and whatnot, and like an earthiness. And I think that might be from Bru-1. There's a little bit of stuff like that, almost like topsoily, almost oniony, and then besides that, it's just like really classic Citra, like overripe sweet citrus, and then like from the yeast, I'm getting like toads of that like overripe stone fruit and almost like that candied melon thing, and then again, there's a fun kind of grilled pineapple vibe, which is probably Bru-1. It's really good though. I still think Pink Boots is my favorite Fidens beer though. Maybe tossed up with Hatchet. Hatchet's really good. Like, if I loved, a Hatchet as much as I did, I'm sure Eugene's X is just crazy. Like, that beer was so good. But yeah, I totally see why people are geeking out about Fidens. For sure, especially if you're into really big juice bombs. But I will still say, in terms of profile, I still prefer Monkish just because it's more dank and bright and West Coasty. And I'm getting more and more back into the West Coast stuff, and I'm wanting to drink more and more West Coast stuff. So it's funny, like the more I drink those really good West Coasters, the more I'm craving them. For our live stream, if you guys didn't catch it with Anning's West Coast, we had some West Coasters, and it was like just drinking those was like, oh man, they're really good. We even had a collab Betsy Brewing and Gamma Brewing. We didn't review it, do it in the stream, but it was like an Imperial Red Ale that was hopped to all hell. It was like almost 100 IBUs. It almost seemed like their interpretation of Arrogant Bastard. And it's fun to see ratings of that beer because it was super well made. There's no off flavors, no nothing. It was like just like a hugely bitter, fruity, intense, malty beer. It's like when you drank Arrogant Bastard for the first time back in the day, it was either you hated it or you loved it. But it's a classic still, and it was, it was something like that. It was fun to try that because it was really good. And being an old school beer drinker, which sounds weird because I'm fairly young, but drinking those kind of beers back in the day and drinking this now, I still really enjoyed it. It was like, it was abrasive and crazy and intense and dry and bitter, but also bready. It was still nice. But people are slaughtering it like crazy. And the only reason is because people don't like bitterness anymore, or people are afraid of bitterness. And then because it's malty, like people want fruit juice. And I think it's such a shame because it's a good beer. It's a really good beer and it deserves a higher rating. So 3 and on an average, but it's also fun to see. The problem is, like, there are some old school drinkers who, like, you can see as rating it high, but so many people like 1.5 stars, which is stupid because that's an undrinkable beer. That's a failed beer in terms of Untapped's averages. But people don't know that because people don't know how to rate on Untapped. They rate however they feel like, which is also one of the problems with Untapped. But we're not going to get into that because otherwise this video would be really long. But this is really good. This is really enjoyable. Am I totally fired up and excited about it? No. Just because I prefer a little bit more singy brightness to beers like this. But, if you're into juice bombs, you're going to lose your shit over this because this is as juicy as it comes. But kept in check with some brightness and some singiness, especially there in aftertaste right now. 93, really good. Like, it's not world class for me, but it's just a really well made IPA with super nice juicy flavors and also a little bit of brightness, which is the reason why I enjoy Fidens. So yeah, this was very nice. So if you guys had a chance to try Fidens Oak, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton again to Joe for this one, you rule, man. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And check out Joe's channel. Link is down below. And I'm going to say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.